In this video, we'll be taking a look at yet another free plugin here in iOS. This time it's a filter plugin. It is the JAF Model One audio unit plugin by Jens Ghoul. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to Studio Live today, where my goal is to help you create, record and release your best music and apparently download all the cool free plugins, because we're back again with another Jens Ghoul plugin. We've done two others in this series and those will be linked up the top and down below, but this is the JAF Model One, which is a virtual analog ladder filter. Now, what's a filter all about? What does it do? You're going to find out in this video, and this is just one of the JAF collection, which is a whole collection of filters by Jens Ghoul. So without any further ado, let's jump in and take a look at this very cool plugin. Now, before we get started, I will cut to the chase here. I am not a big synthesizer guy, so I don't make a lot of electronic music, so I don't use a heap of filters, but I do love playing around with the synth every now and then. So when a cool free filter plugin comes out, I'm of course going to play with it. So what we have here is the JAF Model One. We've got a nice dial here where we can dial in the cutoff frequency here. So if you haven't used a filter before, you're basically changing the frequency. So if you've ever used an EQ and you've like swept around the different frequencies to get that really cool sort of sound where you're cutting at a certain frequency, that's basically what a filter does. Yes, my synth friends are going to murder me for that explanation, but that's okay. We've also got a resonance down here that we can dial in on this one, and a drive knob as well. Down the bottom here, we've got a saturation button, so we can actually come in here and we've got a separate set of saturation options here. So we've got amplification here on the left, and we've got this flavor knob on the right, and we can turn those on and off as well. And if we come up to the top here, we can also turn on the modulator, and we can play around with our modulator here. A heap of options in there as well. And we've also got this button here, the oscillator. Doesn't actually do anything. It's probably for one of the other options, because you can see here in the top right, this is the Model One. And if we had the full collection, if we tapped that, we'd get all of the other filters as well. So maybe that's something I need to check out. If you want to see more of these, say, Pete, more filters, please. And maybe I'll reach out and see if we can get this whole collection to review. But for now, let's start playing some sounds and seeing what the JAF Model One can really do. Alright, a quick refresher on how to add in a plugin here in GarageBand. We're going to select this particular track here. This is just a little light cycle, one of our synths here in GarageBand. Let's hit play. Just sounds like that. So this is going to be a cool sort of synth sound to play with. We're going to tap plugins and EQ. We've already got the great FAC chorus on here by Fred Anton Corvez. How you going, Fred, if you're watching this one? We're also going to tap here and add a new plugin. Go to Audio Unit Extensions and scroll down. Let's add the JAF Model One. Let's tap on that one here, and there it is in all its glory. So I'm getting used to the way these plugins work. You kind of zoom in with a couple of fingers, zoom out, you can move around. Now, you can freeze it in place by, if you've got it in the spot where you want it like that, you can tap the little snowflake and it will freeze it in place. So now it's locked in, meaning that we can just adjust the dials without moving it around. But I kind of like zooming in and out, so we're going to turn the freezing back off. You can also adjust this one here, which you can turn it into dark mode or light mode, or somewhere in between. We'll make it semi-dark. We'll put it down there like that. Tap that one off and we're good to go. All right, that's enough showing the things. Let's actually listen to the sound. So what we can do now is let's hit play, and first we'll start playing with our cutoff frequency here and see what sort of different sounds we can get. I've made a rookie mistake. I haven't turned it on. So you'll notice here in the middle here, there's an on-off button. We're going to tap that one, and now we're going to try again with the JAF Model One. So yeah, we can turn this down, and you'll hear there that when we're right down here, it's cutting off all those high frequencies. As we bring it around, the cut is getting to higher and higher frequencies. So if we sort of put it around the middle here, we get this sort of sound. We can lower it down to bring it into the background. we've frozen it. Sorry, I do tend to tap on that little freeze button occasionally. So that is the first option there. We've got some other options down here. So we've got resonance and drive. So let's start, we'll put this around the middle there. So we'll just drop it around there. Go back to the start. Let's play with the resonance and drive and take a look at these now. Let's take a look at the drive now. That was the resonance. Let's listen to the drive. So I kind of like that. I like it set there with a little bit of resonance and lots of drive on this synth. So if we wanted to go back and say, hey, what did this synth sound like before we added this? We can turn the on-off button there. So I'm going to play this back and then I'm going to add this in and we're going to hear the difference. So you can hear that we've instantly really changed this sound. We've added in some really cool flavor to this sound. But we're not done there because we've also got the modulator option in the top here. So let's tap on the modulator and let's dial some of this in and see what else we can do to our synth sound here. You know what I've done again? I haven't turned it on. Okay, when you download this and start playing, you're going to go, all right, I'm going to turn it on because Pete didn't. So we tap the on-off button. Let's turn it back to the start and let's try that one again. Yeah, so we're getting some really interesting sounds there. So we'll drop that one down there. We just need to zoom out a little bit. Tap the modulator again. Like that. And then let's play with this depth option as well. Okay, I kind of like it around about there. And again, we can turn this off and on and see what it sounds like overall. So if we turn everything back off again. And back on. So we've got a very different sound there, yeah? It's super cool. We've added in some resonance and drive. We've got that cutoff frequency there. We've used the modulator, and we've got a pretty cool sound. So if we come back, we hit done. We come back to our main track here. Let's put this back into the track and see what it sounds like with the JAF Model 1. So it's probably standing out a little bit too much because originally it was sort of like this. So yeah, we needed to play around with the volume a little bit, but I really like the sound of that one when we solo it in here. Yeah, that's very, very cool. So, yeah, how cool is this? We can play around with this again 100% for free, and this is just one of the filters. Again, the free one, so anyone can go and download this. There'll be a link down in the description. Go and download it and play around with it because, yeah, filters are fun. Like, above everything else, yes, I think we could use them in some tracks, but they're fun to play with because you get some cool sounds, and sometimes you'll create a sound that is something so unique that you'll then create a whole track around that sound. So, let's play with this on one or two other tracks here before we finish up, just to see what else this plugin can do. So let's throw the Model 1 on this synth sound here. At the moment, it's a little synth loop that sounds like this. All right, let's jump in here. We'll jump into our plugins and EQ. Once again, we'll edit this one. I've got the FAC chorus on this one too. I love my FAC plugins, as you can tell. Let's grab the JAF Model 1. Throw this on here and let's just dial in, or we've frozen it again. Let's just dial in some random settings here and see what sort of cool sounds we can get with the JAF Model 1. Okay, I think that's a pretty cool sound. So again, let's just listen to it without, and then we'll turn it on and hear the difference. So here it is without. And let's hear it with the JAF Model 1. Okay, I've made that a little bit crunchy on there, but let's just bring it back into the mix. So you can hear we've already got like a harder edge to this sort of track, and yes, it's probably not exactly what I would go for in something like this, but we're experimenting. Experimentation is fun. Let's see if we can throw it on these drums here. So at the moment, our drum loop sounds like this. Yeah, nice. Our man Magnus, so we'll hit the edit button here. Oh, we got one slot in here ready to go. We'll throw this on here, the JAF Model 1. Let's do this live while these drums are playing, shall we? We'll try not to hit the freeze this time. We'll turn it on, and then we'll dial it up. And what you heard there is I was sweeping around with this filter, and this is the one thing that GarageBand can't do on its own. So if you're using this with like Audio Bus or AUM or a different Apple plugin, which we'll talk about in a future video, I do need to get into those and do some videos on those. But you can, with other DAWs, you can sort of use these live and impact your sound. So it's a cool use of a filter is kind of, you would have heard that effect where you're sort of playing and you bring it up like that. And then you might bring it back. So you sort of bring it from like almost inaudible up to being able to be heard. And you can use this sort of the cutoff to be able to do that. But anyway, we can't do that in GarageBand. We just need to kind of set it and forget it. So let's just find a nice setting for these drums here in GarageBand. That sounds like it's got some nice sort of pop to it. Yeah, I like it. So we'll hit done on that one. Again, let's just listen to it without. And we'll turn on the JAF Model 1. Yeah. Is it just me, or am I just going to go nuts and start putting this on everything? It's like when I got the FAC Maxima, I just threw it on every track. It may be the same with the JAF Model 1. Anyway, let's play these all together now that I've added this to 3 different tracks and see what we got. Okay, that's pretty cool, and that's super fun. So yeah, hopefully this gave you a bit of an idea of what you can do here with a filter plugin. And yes, there's other filters and there's other plugins you could use for similar effects, but for free, again, $0, £0, €0. This is a pretty cool plugin. So I hope you enjoyed this. Go ahead and download it. There's links in the description. There's 2 more videos linked down below as well, all about other free plugins here in GarageBand on your iPhone or your iPad. You can subscribe to the channel by tapping or clicking on the Studio Live Today icon, and I'll see you on the next video. See ya.